Looks like we're live. Excellent. Let's just take a look at the stream preview here in YouTube. Make sure that everything looks good. Take a drink of water. There we go. Kitty, check. Excellent. Done. No. Live dashboard. There we go. All right, we are live. Officially live. Cool. Kitty, don't hit the escape button. Thank you. All right, you're getting closer. Kitty's joining us today. If you wanted to know who I was talking to, who is currently millimeters away from my escape key. So hopefully, if I go offline abruptly, that's why. So I like to start off my stream by thanking our Patreon viewers. Thank you, Patreon guys and gals who are out there supporting us in that manner. That's kind of our go-to. People like, hey, we wish we had monthly gaming passes, and my answer is we do. It's through our Patreon page. You guys get updates quicker than other people when we have them to give out. We also get cool benefits like cool merch and stuff that we add all the time. You also get free gaming, depending on which level you want to be at. And through through some people's feedback, I think we're going to expand them a little bit. We also offer that, like, if you just want the free gaming passes, I think we're going to offer those as well. And so those will come eventually. So be on the lookout for those. But I do want to thank our Patreon supporters for supporting us from the beginning, even before we had a venue, and into now when we do have a venue. And it's been quite a ride, and that money goes to right back into the community, right back into the venue to make sure it is great for you guys. It goes into events because they cost money, just like our Extra Life event coming up in November. As soon as we get a couple more sponsors for that one, we're gonna go ahead and create the event so people can start looking forward to that. So yeah, and with that, we also have the E Unlimited tournament coming up in October. Is it? Let's look it up real quick. When is the E Unlimited tournament coming up? MTA E Unlimited. I'm not quite sure. Nope, that's 2018. This is definitely 2019. Pretty sure it's in October then, though. Yeah, October 5th, 2019. Kind of around the same time TenchiCon is, but this is, just gaming. So for fighting games, we're going to be there with some awesome tournaments. There's going to be prizes like crazy this year. That's going to be super cool. So the sponsors can be ginormous, and MTA has really been kind of helping the gaming community here since they've gotten into it a few years ago, and they haven't put their foot off the gas in quite a while. I mean, their big sprint is in the Unlimited, but of course they help out in other manners. So I want to give a good shout out to MTA for helping us in the gaming community. Always looking to always asking if they can help. They just got a new esports coordinator, so I feel like this next year, I'm gonna say even in the 6 months coming to the new year, is going to be pretty exciting because of the new things hopefully they'll be bringing into the community now that they have someone dedicated full time towards that area. I'm not quite sure what to expect yet. As soon as I get information, if I can give that information out, I will definitely do so, but I'll try to be working closely with them. Maybe bringing more MTA sponsored events to the venue here. That'd be kind of awesome. Kind of besides like the big E Unlimited stuff, hopefully get some smaller tournaments here at the venue. So the main reason for today's, those are kind of just some small updates, but people aren't perfect. I am also people. I am prone to those mistakes, and so when we created the gaming computers, I knew that our 256 gig SSD would not hold all the games that we want to download. And so what I did was I split. Normally, what you do. Sorry for the dog. I don't know why they're barking. So normally, what you do is you would put your games on a either external hard drive or an internal 2 terabyte drive, like we do, and that's how you do it. And that's kind of what we did. But the problem with that is that you know that the games are on a different partition. People who come to the warehouse don't know that, and so when they install a new game, they just hit next without realizing where they're installing the games. It happens, and I don't blame them. That's how I do it when I'm at home, because I know where everything is. And so when that happens, sometimes games can get mistakenly installed on the C drive and not like the D or E or whatever drive you have it on. So that's kind of what I was fearing, and that was like the first week that we were open in February. That's how kind of things were. And some people ask, like, hey, is this a good spot to install a game? And if it was the D drive, yeah, or I'd help change it. But not everyone's doing that. And so I came up with an idea. I'm sure I'm not the first one to ever think of this, but why don't I redirect the whole program files, all that, because you have the 86 and you have the regular 64-bit program files. Why don't you redirect both of those to the D drive? Windows does not like that, and so what I did was I booted up Linux, and I moved those folders over to the D drive, and then booted into Windows, which it barely booted because missing a whole bunch of stuff. Once you do that, I didn't know where to find them. I created something called junctions inside of Windows to the D drive from the C drive. And so basically what it says is when Windows looks to the C drive for program files, it finds it because you've made this new folder called the exact same thing, but it just links to the D drive. And to the Windows, it's the same thing. Well, that worked out great for until now. And no one was the wiser. All the games, by default, even though people said C drive, it redirected to the D drive. Worked out perfectly. Until now, of course, what I just said. Because Windows doesn't really care, but Windows Update does. And you wouldn't know that until you looked it up and had the issue. So that's what happened. I had the issue, and I looked it up, and then sure enough, people all over the place were having issues with different junctions that they have made all over the computer, very all different spaces, and Windows Update would just not update their computer, and I want to keep the computers as secure and up to date as possible. So I was like, this is not a long-term solution anymore. And I hit the drawing board, and I was like, how am I going to do this? And so what I thought is, I went through another iteration a couple days ago where what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to try creating what's called just a symlink, system link. And it's supposed to be kind of like the newer version of a junction. You create it in the same way, you just call it something else internally. Like, instead of create junction, you create system link. And I was like, that should work. No, it does not. I don't know why. I forget why it didn't work, but it just failed horribly. So I had to go immediately back to the drawing board, and so I found so I thought to myself, because the point of owning a business and doing these things that we were doing is to create less work for ourselves, and that's because you don't want to keep having to touch every computer, especially when you get 20, 30, 40 computers. So what I did was, I was just like, all right, this is not going to work, so why don't I redirect the games? Certain games, we know where they're going to be, for the most part, for the games that we have. And future games, we can, if we see it once, we can just replicate it on every computer, hopefully pretty quickly. So that's kind of what I did. I looked on a couple of our computers and moved the folders over to a different server so I can get kind of a plain view of what's going on. And so, Steam, Good Old Games, Epic Games, all those, Origin, figure out where all those were. I don't really care about the launchers so much, because when we image all the computers, the launchers will just be installed. I care about the games, the things that take up heavy weight. And so I concentrated on those, and every launcher does it a little bit different. So just like Steam has all their games inside of Steam, which is kind of annoying but kind of cool at the same time because Blizzard does not. Blizzard has a install for each game. So Diablo 3, StarCraft, StarCraft 2, all those, Hearthstone, have different directories within program files. Sorry if this is getting a little bit in the weeds for some of you. And so that was a little bit more complicated. But I can just grab the whole contents of the game that way too, if they're in separate folders. And so I grabbed all those I could find. Epic was the only weird one because Fortnite apparently has both 64-bit and 32-bit parts of it. I didn't look too deeply into it, so I had to grab both of those from the 64-bit and 32-bit area. And so what I was left with is a list of folders I can create and make a junction for in the D drive. And so what I ended up doing was creating a script that looked through this folder of stuff that I have games and creates the folders on the D drive for me, and then creates the folders, the junctions, which is a different type of, it's like a shortcut basically, but so created those shortcuts that look like folders on the C drive for me, and that worked out okay right now. But the problem was I was like, hey, let me use these system links. This should work out fine. Well, today I get in and it doesn't work. It works out for everything but Blizzard. Blizzard goes, I don't work, and I know this is a system link. I'm not going to work. Well, crap. What do I do? Quickly to the drawing board. So I was moving away from junctions to system links because they're kind of like the newer version. I went back. I was like, all right, well, maybe throw stuff in the air, see if it sticks. Create a junction for Blizzard. And so I deleted Blizzard. I created the junction and reinstalled it, and it was like, hey, we're good to go. All right, yeah. And so that was kind of cool. And so I went back into my script. I changed everything to a junction because I don't want to worry about one program creating a whole separate part of a script for just one program if I don't have to. So I changed everything to junctions, and we'll see if those work for when the next big Windows update comes out. Little updates were working. It was the big updates we were worrying about. So those are the changes those were the mistakes that I've learned over the last couple weeks, mostly in the last couple days. So we're going to be re-imaging all the computers, and so you guys will hopefully not tell a difference other than maybe a game needs to be uploaded or needs to be installed, some of those obscure games. But hopefully you guys won't see much of a difference. Things might be a little bit faster because I'm not redirecting the whole program files anymore. I'm only redirecting what we need to redirect. The computer will boot up a little bit faster, even though they boot up pretty quick as it is, so I'm told. I don't like to take my own word for things. I like you guys to tell me what you think. And certain, like Discord, might boot up a little bit quicker because that's on the SSD. It's not a big program. Eventually I might move Blizzard back onto the SSD because that's also not a big program. So those things will hopefully boot up quicker. Also, from my side, like, I was pretty upset because with the gaming software that we have on there, it doesn't let things boot up with Windows. And so the mice didn't change colors like they were supposed to. The side cases, when it loses power, it loses their LAD settings, and so it needs the program to reinitialize that. That wasn't working. So hopefully now I found a way to get that to work too, and that's kind of how I ran into the update issue. So those things should get better for aesthetics. You know, everyone likes RGB, and it just makes new people who walk in just like, wow, that's look cool. So we're trying to work on that, make things progressively better, right? If you're going to do it better and do it better each time. That's kind of how I look at all the things that we've been doing with LAN parties and events, tournaments. Just like, you know, we learned from the tournaments we hosted last month to host better ones this month and to keep that going. So onto away from the computers onto more venue updates. besides computers booting faster, I started painting lines in the front so that parking can get a little bit better. Parking is already pretty cramped, and it gets worse when people don't park evenly. And sometimes they'll leave like a big space, sometimes they'll leave a small space. Usually never enough for another car to get through. So I'm working on painting lines. I don't think I'll have. I just have like a big L right now, just to get my my measurements correct, make sure they're on point, and make sure it looked good, make sure it's holding out with the weather, and things are looking really well. People are already using the one line that I made, which is the front line, so they know to not park ridiculously close to the garage or to the house, and this way people can easily get to and from their vehicles. Gotta stay hydrated with this heat. Oh my goodness. So those lines hopefully will be completed next week, as long as it doesn't rain all next week. But with the weather we're having, probably not. In the back, I used to have just a folding table for all the servers and stuff like that. It was getting kind of cluttered, and it got cluttered really easily, so I switched out to metal racks and things. It's night and day back there. Everything, I have more room. There's more room to walk. I don't have to be like, oh, this is the crap in the server room. It's now the work room, and that's where we keep our server and everything like that. So if you guys are, anyone watching this, when you stop by, you want to take a look, just let me know. I can show you back there, show you what we did. I'm proud of it. I'm really happy with it. It should make getting sodas and stuff, restocking the fridge easier, because now we have a place to put the sodas and stuff to make it easier for us to grab. We also moved the chips from our concessions area to its own stand. Chips are kind of hard to work with because they just want to fall down, and they want to mix, and they want to do their own thing. So we just give them stacking bins, and this way people can just, all right, I want that one, done. We're still separating them out by different flavors, so that's not, you don't have to worry about that, but they're just now in a convenient area, and hopefully that will give us room for better stuff, or not better stuff, more stuff. The things that we have, I think, are pretty good. No one else really complained about it other than wishing they had buy pizza. Working on it. We've made the first. We got information on how to get the food license to be able to do that. So those are some of the things that we've been working on. I've been mostly working on the computers, working on organization, making sure that we have enough room, trying to get more fans in here to get it cooler, because it is very hot, and I try to keep airflow going as much as I can. It's difficult, and everyone knows Anchorage ran out of fans and air conditioners pretty quickly, and people are bribing people for it, or buying fans off each other. It's weird. It's weird. I understand it though. It's hot. So I also like to remind people, we have Otter Pops. So if you get too hot, we have Otter Pops. They're 50 cents, super cheap, and we have plenty of cold water. All our drinks are cold, so you don't have to be hot. You don't have to be sweating. You probably be sweating anyway. It's hot everywhere. Moving on to the kitty, who's right next to me. Well, not here, but next to the laptop. She looks like she almost fell asleep. So Kitty, a lot of people expressed concern, happiness, joy, all different feelings when we showed the kitty, hoping that the kitty had an owner, wasn't just a stray, or if it was a stray, that we'd have to try to take care of it better. Rest assured, Kitty has an owner. We found her. Her name is Kitty, or Mama is her nickname. She doesn't reply to any of those, just like a typical cat. However, this is great news. She has an owner, right? And she has somewhere she goes to at night. They told me that she is an inside cat, but gets out. I mean, they leave the door open because it's hot out, understandable. And the cat just strolls on out and walks over here and hangs out with us for a few hours and goes back home. So that's all great news to me. Means that I won't be adopting the cat, unfortunately. The cat, I've gotten news that they are moving soon, and so the cat will be going away, which is unfortunate because she is adorable. Right? Yeah. Yes, you are. So we'll have it for probably a good month or two. I haven't gotten a time frame of when they're moving. If you're allergic let me know. And she doesn't pay rent. She doesn't pay to be here. So I don't mind escorting her out if you're allergic. We want to make sure our patrons are as comfortable as possible. But she's friendly, so feel free to give her pets. She might jump on your lap if you allow it, and play with you, or watch you play video games while you're, and she'll probably fall asleep on you. So that's adorable. She doesn't accept food from us, so she gets that from her homeowners, so her owners, or she owns them. She owns me. She owns my heart. That's for sure. Very adorable. I've thought about getting her a little bed here, or a little cat tower. Thinking about it. I don't know if I want to go out and spend that money. I kind of do. With her only being here for a little bit longer before she moves with her owners or the people that she owns. So until then, though, she just sleeps on one of our chairs usually. So she has something. But a lot of people were concerned. I wanted to address those now. In this way, you guys had the up and up on the cat situation. Again, if you're allergic, let me know. I'll bring the cat outside and she'll go back to her owners. I'm afraid she's going to get locked in one day by accident. Like, sometimes she'll go in the back and just sleep a little bit. I found her twice already in the last couple of weeks doing that. So I have to do a little bit better, more diligent of a job making sure that she's not in the building when we're packing up. She's usually out with us anyway, but every once in a while I'm like, where did she go? We have to find her. She might be here, and you give her a call and she comes, hopping over. Super friendly. Don't have to worry about it. Don't touch her feet. That's her button. I found that out not the hard way. She just, she gave me that look and that little growl, meow, like don't do that. So I learned. I want to. So that's about it with the cat. I want to go into. We are offering computer repair. So I have. We're going to be making new signs, hopefully for computer repair, for some of the prices that we have now. Some price changes that we're going to be making. So hopefully we'll get the computer repair on there, and people can get the prices right from there. The general prices, because every project's a little bit different. So we'll probably do project pricing where we find out what we need to know, and we give you a pretty accurate ballpark of what it is, and then go from there. But then we'll have the hour rate, so you know how it kind of breaks down. And then I think that's pretty much it. I want to make sure that you guys knew about the computer repair stuff to end it off with. I'm sure as weeks go by, we'll have more and more people tuning in live. I'm going to try to get better at scheduling these. It's kind of hard for me because I do have I own a consulting business during the day, and so I'd hate to schedule something and then not be able to make that schedule. Although the answer to that would be just not to schedule anything on Friday, wouldn't it? Makes sense. I really wish I could do it after 5, but I'm kind of working, so it's always going to be before 5. I'm going to try to schedule a little bit better. Here in the next day or two, I'm going to be posting something to the Patreon, because we do have some cool upcoming news that I don't really want to put out there to the general public, but our Patreons will be able to be we'll be able to get that information first. So if you want to get that information first, it's as little as $1 gets you into the news part of it. It's also in YouTube format, or sometimes I do a text. It depends on how I feel. I've been trying to get more video stuff out there. So if you like this type of stuff, these updates, let me know. Comment and give us a like. If you want to get more updates in the future, make sure you give us a follow. And this way you can always be known, always be let known when we're going to be hosting something or when we're live. You don't have to hit the bell thing. I hate the bell thing, but the bell thing is there if you want it, but it'll be in your news feed or your video feed. That's how I do most of my feeds on my personal account. So let me know, and then tune in if you want. If you want to get in the chat, they don't have to be. The duration goes wherever way you want to be. I'm going to get my information out there, but if you have questions, if you have comments, we can address them right here live and not through comments if you guys want. So know that that's an option. or let me know. I have my email address through on our website, and there's I directly manage the Facebook page, so if you want to comment that way, if you just don't want to be live, that's fine. Other than that, you guys have a great Friday. We're going to be open. If you guys hear this and get this far, you can come by around 4, and we'll let you in. And I'll be working on computers until 5, probably even beyond that. Probably all night, really. I kept 6 computers the old way so that we can have at least 6 players going at any given time. And yeah, I'll see you later. See you later, guys. Thank you for stopping by.